Greetings, everyone. Dr. Mendes here. I wanted to just take a brief moment to walk you through a commonly asked question when we're looking at UDL, Universal Design for Learning, and comparing it to differentiated instruction. So first and foremost, we have to look at what is UDL, Universal Design for Learning, what is it, and really how exactly do we use it in the classroom. So when we're looking at multiple means of representation, this is what gives the learners a variety of ways of acquiring, taking in, extracting information and knowledge. And that's really the name of the game when we're looking at learning. So the UDL principle of multiple means of representation, this can be met looking at a variety of ways to access specific content. So for example, let's think about a book, a textbook. Commonly, we ask students, go ahead, read chapter 1 of a text. And so this is one way to do it. Student goes, they take the textbook, they read it, they're able to extract or take information. So what are some other ways to access this same content? We're looking at videos, right? YouTube videos, great way to access and learn new information. Images, we're thinking of things like infographics. Ebooks, electronic books, audiobooks, or books on tape, also commonly a great way to access some new information. What about interviewing somebody, right? Maybe taking time to sit down, speak, interview somebody, have a conversation about the content. Maybe you know somebody who's wise, knowledgeable, and that particular has a set of expertise in that particular area, that subject area. So when we're looking at this, there's a lot of different ways that students can learn and take and extract information from a source. And ultimately, we want our students to learn something from that particular text. So how we allow the students, or really how the students acquire the information, is kind of up to them, and should be when we're looking at creating some of the instructional planning or lesson planning and figuring out how exactly we are going to deliver content and expect our students to take it, process it, and learn that new information. So when we're looking at multiple means of expression, so this allows learners some alternatives for demonstrating what they know. When we're looking at, okay, do they understand? Are they retaining? Do they have knowledge? Are they mastering the content? And when we're looking at that multiple means of expression, this again provides a variety of ways or methods that students can demonstrate that mastery or express their understanding of the text instead of using some traditional methods like paper pencil assessments, looking at things like multiple choice, true and false, even short answer or essay responses. Essentially, again, we want to be able to assess and evaluate what our students truly know in more of a genuine, authentic way. And this can be done. So we're looking at, instead of stepping outside of the box of traditional assessments, this can be done verbally. Maybe just through discussions or questions and answers. Pictures, draw me a picture, right? Show me what you've learned. Even getting into presentations, plays, even through demonstration, right? Allowing a student to demonstrate their knowledge in some way, shape, or form, demonstrating the task or how to complete the task successfully. So again, there's a lot of ways that students can express demonstrating that they do understand or they've mastered or showing some sort of competency, some sort of signs of competency there. When we're looking at multiple means of engagement, now this is slightly different and kind of gets into the learner's interests and looking at how we as a teacher can offer some challenges, really stretch their abilities, and ultimately to increase motivation, engagement, keeping our students focused. So when we're looking at multiple means of engagement, using a range of methods for students to focus on their interests, their backgrounds, and we need to integrate this into the instructional planning process when we're developing a sound lesson plan. We need to know our students. That is pivotal, right? We need to know students. We need to know what they like. We need to know what they don't like. We need to know their learning preferences, right? How do they learn best? And then we're able to alter our instructional approach to meet the needs of all students. And with this knowledge, that again should be poured right into the instructional planning process. So with that, we're able to we need to look at different modalities of our teaching and learning and focusing on the core content using our VAC principle, right? And we've heard of this multiple times, but visual and audio, auditory elements, and kinesthetic, making sure we're including hands-on strategies. And again, this is essentially going to help us engage and motivate and increase a sense of inquiry in our students, really, which sets the stage for some high-quality teaching and learning. So what is the difference here? UDL is proactive, right? We are not taking into account specific students' needs, not explicitly anyway. We are just creating a rock star, well-rounded lesson that anyone and everyone can benefit from, right? We're taking science, neuroscience, we're taking research, we're taking evidence into account to ensure that these lessons we're creating, that they are effective for all learners. And this is the framework for creating a well-balanced lesson for all. So, however, we have this wonderful lesson plan, we implement it. Will all students respond at a high rate? Will all of them learn and take all that information as planned? Probably not, right? We know we're going to have some students who are not going to respond, might need some additional supports. So then we look at differentiated instruction. And I love this here. Differentiation consists of the efforts of teachers to respond to variance among learners in the classroom. So when we're looking at DI or looking at differentiated instruction, it's highly reactive. It's highly responsive. We're looking and seeing what our students need. We're often using formative assessment measures during instruction to say, oh, this student needs some additional support or assistance, some guidance here. So I'm going to respond, I'm going to react, and I'm going to meet the student's needs. Or UDL, again, is proactive. We're doing that during the instructional planning process. So differentiated instruction is all about being able to adapt and personalize instruction, meeting the needs of specific students. So UDL is created and designed for all, and now differentiation. Now we're going to differentiate to meet the needs of specific students. And this is not only for exceptional learners or students with disabilities or students who are struggling. This might be for your accelerated, your gifted and talented students, right? We're seeing students that are needing more. They need to be stretched. They need to be challenged. So we're going to go ahead and differentiate. Still, whether we're looking at UDL or we're looking at differentiated instruction, we still need to make sure that we're using evidence, research-based practices, looking at what works, what doesn't, what does the literature tell us, using some of those strategies, those practices, and implementing them in our classroom, and assessments. Right? Assessments, whether they're formative, whether they're summative, we need to take the assessments. We need to use and extract that data so we can evaluate and we can make good, well-informed decisions about the instructional planning and the instructional delivery process. And of course, differentiated instruction is so important there. But again, I wanted to take a moment and just kind of distinguish the two frameworks there when we're looking at UDL and differentiated instruction, how they work hand in hand, but there are distinct differences as well.